Hi everyone, and welcome to the 23rd episode of the Honeybee Knits podcast. My name is Melissa, and I am coming to you from about 45 minutes north of Cincinnati. And today is Monday, October 30th, the day before Halloween. I got my coffee today in my devilish Halloween-y mug, and apparently there's a purple theme going on today. But, yeah, I got this mug from Burlington for $2 because it was originally $3.99, and they had their Halloween stuff 50% off this weekend. That is what I am drinking my coffee out of today. So I left my battery charger for my phone and my iPad at work this past week. So I have been using my husband's, and he happened to find another charger for me, and I've been using that, and I just found out that it didn't charge my iPad or my phone. So my phone is on like 50% and my iPad's on like 3%. So I'm going to get as much recording done as I can before my phone dies. I do have another giveaway I still need a draw for. So I've got a lot of stuff to talk to you guys about today. So I have had a wonderful week. I felt like I was coming down with something at the end of last week, and I feel like what I did was I spent all evening after work on Friday doing all my dyed to orders from last week, so that way I could rest this weekend. And when I was done, I drank some tea, and then we watched an episode of Stranger Things, and then I went to bed, and I did not wake up until 11:30 the next morning on Saturday. So I got a lot of sleep Friday night, and then when we got up, we slowly got moving, had a cup of coffee, got dressed, and then we went out to breakfast. We had to do some shopping to get a coat for my niece and nephew for winter. And, yeah, so we had to do some shopping, so we stopped at Bob Evans for breakfast and had a lovely breakfast, a huge breakfast. It was delicious. And, because of that, I feel, because between drinking the tea the night before, getting a good night's sleep, taking it easy Saturday morning and not rushing around, I felt so much better by Saturday evening. It was crazy considering how awful I felt Friday, and I had actually started to feel really bad for a few days, so it was really nice to be able to kind of recoup. I think I was just running myself into the ground. I work Monday through Friday, and then I would spend all weekend, Friday through Sunday, dyeing yarn. So I wasn't getting a day off. And for me, I'm the type of person where a day off does me a lot more good than a couple hours here or there. So I think what I'm going to do from now on is do my dyeing through the week and get as much of it done through the week as I can, so that the weekends can kind of be reserved for R&R and knitting and family and friends. So, which I think will work out better. I think some of my dyed to orders might go out sooner as a result. Yeah. So I know that was a lot of rambling in the very beginning. Normally I try to save that stuff for the end, but so I have a lot to talk about today. I have an FO. I have a hoe. I'm gonna call it a hoe. I have an FO, a hoe, and a whip. So we've got the full Monty today. I have some dream knitting, some planned projects that is coming up, even though I should not cast anything else on, but I feel justified in these cast-ons, so I'll tell you guys more about that. I have some purchased acquisitions, I was doing really well. I went 6 days without making a single purchase, and then all of a sudden, Lolo Did It came out with Hippo for Christmas. Laura from Knit for Brains opened her shop, and I don't know, I was just really enabled. So, and let's be honest too, I've been watching Meg from Bad with Girl. I've been catching up on her podcast because I just recently started watching her. And 3 of my purchases today were enabled by her. So, and I'm only halfway through her podcast. So if you don't know by now, when I start a new podcast, what I do is I go back to the very beginning and I watch all the older episodes, and then come forward to the beginning, and then I watch them from then on out. So I have lots of purchase acquisitions. I have 4 really lovely packages that came in the mail, swap packages that I would like to share with you guys. And at the end, actually probably in Dream Knitting, I'll have some, just noticed my socks are saggy in the background. I don't like it. Anyway, I need to get a move on. This is bad. And then I also have some shop news that'll be sprinkled in somewhere within the podcast. What else? Before we get into all that, I would like to talk about some administrative things. So first of all, we have our year-long sock knit-along running in the thread. Knit a pair of socks every month from between the first and the last day of the month and enter the finished object into the thread. You will be entered to win a prize from me. This month's prize, I'm looking at it right now, is a bag and a skein of yarn. From the bag is from Bird Leg Bags, and the skein of yarn is from Knit Picks. I have showed that on the previous 2 podcasts, so make sure that you go and check out that. We also have the holiday sweater knit along that is co-hosted by myself and Brooke Knits of a Knit Soul podcast. She is also the dyer behind I Am Fully Spun, and if you haven't checked out her podcast, go do it. She has a vlog style video up that kind of shows her process, and what she does is really cool and unique. She dyes the roving, the fiber, and then she sends it out to a mill to spin. So she sells basically, I mean, they look like they're hand spun yarns because of the way they're spun. So make sure you go and check out her podcast. We are co-hosting a sweater knit along that runs from now to the end of the year, and the idea is to knit a sweater for yourself that you can wear on any of the holiday occasions. You don't have to wear it on a holiday, but that was the idea for our purposes. I wanted to knit a Christmas sweater for myself, and she wanted to knit a holiday sweater for herself. So make sure that you are checking out the FO thread, and the chatter thread is in my group. But you can check out all the details there. And you can also, I know Brooke has talked about it in her podcast, and she has also mentioned it on Instagram and whatnot. I think she created a hashtag for it. Somebody asked me in my live video with Levi yesterday, hi Levi, that somebody asked me if we had a hashtag for that knit along, and I think that she did set one up, but I just don't recall what it is. So I will look into that, and I will make sure to let you guys know. There's that knit along. We also have the Stash Down 2017 thread. I roll my eyes because the idea was to end the year with less yarn than what you started with. And I'm not sure that I'm going to meet that goal. I need to do the calculations and figure it out. But there's still time to enter into that. We still have 2 months. Go out there, declare how much yarn you're starting with, and then just track how much you use, gift, or sell between now and the end of the year. And then we will have 2 prizes. One prize will be for the person that was able to stash down the most, and one will be for the person that was able to stash down the least, meaning they have way more stash than what they started with. And everything is percentage based, it's not number based, so no stash is too large or too small to join in on that cow. So make sure that you are checking in with that. So I think that's it for current knit-alongs that we have running. There is a knit-along that is coming up in January. It will start January 1st, and it is our What You Knitting Kitten Cow. I'm sorry, it's going to be yeah, it is a cow call because I don't think he does, anyway, so it's a Stephen West knit-along, so it's kind of an ode to one of the more creative and out there designers of our time and of our knitting time. Levi, Allie, and myself are all going to be co-hosting that, and we all really adore his patterns. So I've knit a few. Levi's knit several. I don't think Allie has ever knit a pattern of his, so I think she's really excited to get working on that. Levi and I are going to be making the exploration station. Levi is doing it out of all of Honeybee Knits yarns, which is really exciting. And I'm going back and forth. I really want to use my own yarn for that knit-along, but I have purchased 2 sets of yarn in the past specifically for an exploration station, and so I haven't decided what I'm doing yet, but make sure that, and it doesn't have to be the exploration station, it can be any of his patterns, so make sure that you're checking out his patterns, picking your favorite, and choosing your yarn, because January 1st will be here before you know it. I have a couple of giveaway announcements. So the first giveaway, I have a couple today, and a few of them I'm going to have to pause and draw for, but a little change of scenery. I felt like Helga and Henry were being left out of the picture, so I needed to add them. And also, Krista also made me Frankenstein's monster and Elvira, which I showed on the podcast last week. I feel like everything's a little crooked today, and I apologize. I apologize if it's like way crazy. I don't know. I need a new tripod. My tripod broke, so the tripod itself is uneven, and trying to get to the camera to that perfect level is just not working out today. So anyway, back to giveaways. So the first one I'm going to mention, I haven't mentioned on the podcast before, just because it kind of happened between last podcast and this podcast, and it's the only one I've actually drawn for. So I hosted, or I put out a challenge on Instagram, asking you guys to help me get to 150 sales before November 5th, which is it's my dad's birthday, but it's also, actually November 6th is my dad's birthday, but anyway, unrelated. But I wanted to get to 150 sales before my shop turned 5 months old, which it does on November 5th. So, you guys, you're so amazing. I'm sitting at 151 sales right now. So we officially hit that yesterday evening. Actually, I think I got another order this morning, so I might be above that now. But what I did is I drew a name. Anybody that purchased from me between October 25th and today, because October 25th was the day I put the challenge out, was entered to win, and it was based on the amount of items that you purchased. So if you purchased 2 items, you got 2 entries. And I'm really excited to announce who won. So the winner of that knit-along, the winner of that giveaway will receive a skein of yarn from my shop, which originally I had already picked out a colorway. However, I believe that person has already purchased that colorway, so they will be getting, I'm going to keep that a surprise. And they will also be receiving a bag from my stash and a few other goodies. So the winner of that giveaway is Krissa. Hi, Krissa. So Krissa, if you'll recall, has sent me a few lovely packages, and she is the one that crocheted Henry the Hippo, Elvira, and then Frankenstein's monster right here. So it was so awesome when I pulled her name this morning. I was like, oh yay, Krissa won. So she has purchased several skeins of yarn for me in the past few months, and she's been a huge supporter of not only my shop but the podcast as well. So I really appreciate that, and I'm so happy to have made such a good friend. So Krissa, congratulations. I am going to send you your giveaway package along with your yarn that you purchased once it's all dyed up and ready to go. So yay! So wrapping up a few other knit-alongs. So we had the so I had hosted Whip It Thursday with Levi from the WTF Knitting Podcast, and I did a video several weeks ago announcing the giveaway winners, and there were 2 people that have not contacted me. The first one was a pattern prize, and the second one was the actual first place grand prize, whatever you want to call it. So I am officially going to draw for new winners today. So let's go ahead and do that. If I can find my iPad. I might not be able to do it on my iPad because it is going to die any second. So the first prize I'm going to draw is going to be for the pattern prize. So the winner of this will get to choose a pattern of their choice between up to $7 US. And let me get to that thread. And this is coming from the Whip It Thursday chatter thread. And we had 151 entries. So, Suri, give me a number between 2 and 152.
That would be 60.
So number 60 has 1, so let's see who number 60 is. And of course it's Elizabeth, who I pulled last time, and she always seems to win these giveaways. I think it's just because she's really active in the threads. So let's try again. Suri, give me a number between 2 and 152.
It's 20.
Number 28. So let's see who number 28 is. Okay, number 28 is Kentucky Munchkin. I think it's Kentucky. It's KY Munchkin. And that is... She doesn't have her name on here, but she is from Frankfort, Kentucky. So, Kentucky Munchkin, if you could go ahead and get in touch with me on Ravelry and let me know what pattern you would like, I will give that to you. So, the next winner will come from the Whip It Thursday Knit Along FO thread. And this is for the skein of Honeybee Knits colorway from Arkansas Yarn Company. A set of stitch markers from Skyly Knits, a Notions pouch, an owl bag from Fondant Fiber, and a few other good little goodies that I'm going to throw in. So we had 47 entries. Sir, give me a number between 2 and 47.
The answer is 50.
Wrong, because it's 48. Sir, give me a number between 2 and 48.
The answer is 38.
Okay, so let's see who number 38 is. So the winner of that is Shanta. Shanta? I know that you've told me this before because I think you've won a prize in the past. And she's from Athens, Tennessee. So Shanta, I apologize for not enunciating that correctly. But if you could please get in touch with me on Ravelry and send me your address, I will get that package out to you in the mail. So that wraps up that knit along. Hopefully those 2 winners contact me, and then I can mark that one off the list. Otherwise, you know the drill. 2 podcasts from now, I will draw another winner. I will give you a few weeks to watch this video. The last giveaway that we have is a beautiful package donated from the lovely Tara from Mitchell's Creations. And it is this mini skein set and some little goodies. And her dyeing is beautiful. You guys saw last week, I'm obsessed with her yarn and bags. In fact, one of my dream knitting projects is sitting in one of her bags today, so I will show you that later on. So, all you had to do for this one is comment below this video and tell me what was your favorite item or items purchased from her shop. Or not purchased from her shop, but within her shop. So, I'm going to go to the video if my iPad doesn't die before then. And I'm going to read the comment, or see how many comments we had. So we had 55 comments. So, let's see who won. Sorry, give me a number between 1 and 55.
It's 25.
Number 25. So, the winner of that giveaway is the Crafty Chemist. And she said that she thinks that the Snow-Capped Mountain colorway from Mitchell's Creations is gorgeous. And I don't recall seeing that colorway, so I'm going to have to go back and look, which is probably really dangerous. So, get a hold of me, send me a private message on Ravelry or Instagram or wherever, and let me know where you would like me to send your prize package. So thank you guys so much for participating and taking a look at Tara's shop. It is a beautiful shop, and I love everything in it, and I really need to stay out of it because I'm going to get myself in trouble. I really am. Levi, well, first of all, I have one more administrative thing to talk about. So I was gifted a pattern, and it is called the stand-up socks, which I'm going to insert a photo here. And it's a gorgeous pattern, and a lot of the proceeds from this pattern are being donated to cancer. It was designed as a pattern that was specifically to be donated. It was gifted to me quite a while ago, and I kept forgetting to mention it on the podcast. And what I want to do is not only get out the word about the socks because she is trying to raise money for cancer research, but I also want to gift a few patterns. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a thread on Ravelry, and in that thread, so this kind of connects with another thing that's going on. So a few podcasts ago, Levi had done a giveaway for basically he asked his subscribers to tell him what yarn means to them. And a lot of people were able to connect knitting and yarn in general to specific memories or feelings, and a lot of people use it to help cope with stress and anxiety, which is what I did. It was actually a recommendation from my doctor to help me cope with my anxiety. So, a lot of people gave amazing responses. In fact, Allie has put the challenge out there to other podcasters, including myself, to just kind of say, so first of all, Levi started this from WTF Knitting. He gave his response in the giveaway video, and it was very, very moving and touching, and I could really connect with him and what he was saying about how big of a part in his life that yarn and knitting plays. So as I've started my business and dyeing yarn and fiber and sewing bags and stuff, yarn has become a bigger and bigger part of my life. And so Allie was very, very moved by what Levi had mentioned on his podcast, or the word, what Levi was talking about on his podcast. So she put out a challenge to myself and other podcasters to basically just say what yarn means to us. So I wanted to connect the two because I know a lot of, first of all, the stand-up socks, it's a beautiful pattern. It's knit inside out because there's a lot of purling, so to mitigate that, you knit it inside out, so you're knitting, and then when you're done, you flip the socks so that the knits look like pearls. But it's a beautiful sock pattern. It's very, very it's a beautiful sock pattern. It's a great cause, and also the whole what knitting or what yarn means to me movements that Levi kind of started. It really is inspirational. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a thread in my Ravelry group saying what yarn means to me, because unfortunately I kept forgetting and I never participated in Levi's giveaway. And I want you guys to go into that thread, tell me what yarn, or it doesn't have to be yarn, but what knitting, crafting means to you. It doesn't have to be what it means to you. It could be just a story of how you got to be a crafter, how you got to be a knitter or a crocheter. But basically what role this community plays in your life. If you're a podcaster, how did you start podcasting? So it doesn't necessarily have to be what yarn means to you, but just give me a little bit of information about you and how, what impact this community and knitting has had on your life. And I will draw a few pattern prizes for a few winners for these stand-up socks, and I will gift you that pattern. So I'm going to do that on the next podcast, so make sure that as soon as you see this video, you go over to Ravelry and do that. I'm going to open up the thread before this video goes live. So, yeah. And like I said, I'm going to actually write out my response to that question for you guys to read. So, there is that. So, that takes care of all the administrative stuff. I'm sorry that took so long in the beginning of the video. I just really wanted to get it out of the way so that we could focus on the yarny stuff. I know not everybody's interested, and I know a lot of people like the giveaways and they want to know if they won, so I want to do that first, and I want to do the knit-alongs first because I always forget to mention them, and then by the time I'm done podcasting, I'm like, forget it, because I get so exhausted by the end of this. And so I really wanted to get the word out about everything before we got into the fun stuff. Let's talk knitting and spinning, because I have some spinning this week too. The first thing I have to show you, which I'm calling an FO even though the ends aren't woven in, but it is blocked, is my husband's sweater. So I am so happy with how this turned out. It looks fantastic on him. It fits him perfectly. He really likes the fit of it. You know, it's a custom made sweater, so I feel like anytime you have custom socks or sweater or whatever, it always feels good, and you feel good when you have nice clothes that fit you correctly. So the last thing I have to do is I have a few ends to weave in, and then I have to sew up some holes in the armpit area. And honestly, I only have 6 ends to weave in because I spit sliced everything else. So I have the neckline, the neckband end, I have the body end, I have the sleeve ends, and then I have the armpit ends. And I just have to weave in 6 ends, and this sweater is finished. I really love how it turned out. It's super soft. It's a little bit itchy. It's a little bit scratchy. He did say that it was a little rough, so he's definitely going to be wearing a shirt under this, which is why I made it a little bit bigger. But I will insert the finished object pictures here because I know you guys love seeing my husband's poses. And he said it's super warm, and my husband does tend to get very warm in the winter, so or actually all year round, he's always complaining that he's hot. So I don't know how often this is going to get worn, but he did promise a few minutes on Christmas for some photos, as long as I get my sweater finished, which would be nice, right? I haven't even worked on it, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, so he likes it. It was a really fun, simple pattern to knit. The crazy thing is that I knit about 80% of this sweater in 2 days. It took me another 2 weeks to finish the rest of this sweater. And mainly, that was only because A, I didn't have a whole lot of knitting time, and B, what knitting time I did have was devoted to my Cozy Memories blanket. So yeah, which I'll show in a bit. So I have what I am calling a hoe, and this is a spinning hoe. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is made out of Knit Picks Wool of the Andes worsted and the Marble Heather colorway. And I use Xiaogu needles to knit it up. And it is the Flax Sweater by Tin Can Knits. So I have finished spinning this project. So this was the very first thing that I ever dyed. So I dyed the roving for this project about 2.5 years ago. And I was spinning it on a drop spindle, which is why the beginning up here looks really super uneven. It was the first project that I actually attempted to do any spinning on. And it was before I even had a wheel. So it had sat in a project bag for over a year, and when I finished spinning, I've showed in my previous podcast my other spinning projects, and I know my camera is super crooked, so I don't know what to do about it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just gonna have to be crooked today. So anyway, it sat in a project bag for over a year because drop spindling is so tedious compared to spinning on your wheel. And once I got my wheel, I was done with it. I was like, I'm not going back to drop spindling ever. So I transferred it onto my wheel and I finished it up this week. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. And I'm calling it a half object because it's not plied. It's still singles. But what I do is I let it rest on the bobbin for about a week before I ply it, and then I'll let it rest on the bobbin for another week before I soak it and skein it up. So this is not technically a finished object yet, so you guys will be seeing this again once it's plied, and I can't wait to see how this is going to look up plied because all these colors are going to mix and match together, and it is going to look so cool, and I'm so excited. I think this would make awesome socks. Awesome socks. I think this would make awesome socks, but it's not going to be enough yardage. So, we'll see what I don't know what I'm going to make out of it. I'm going to do a video at some point where I show all my hand spun stuff because I know I've shown them here and there in the past, but I've gotten a lot of comments from people saying, oh, I didn't know you spin. So for those of you that are new to the podcast and haven't seen my old episodes, I'll bring back some of my spinning projects to kind of show you. And I think it's fun too to look at them because I have all of them from start to finish, from like the first one I did to the most recent one I did. And I think it's awesome to show like the different, how I've improved over each skein, the different techniques I've used, just trying to like play around and see what works best for me. So I'm really excited to show you that. So you guys know that I have been, and this goes a little bit into the dream segment, but you guys know that I have been really into rainbows lately. I've been wanting to knit all the rainbow things and spin all the rainbow things, and that has not changed. In fact, at Wool Gathering, if you watch my Wool Gathering video, you'll have seen that I purchased a fiber bat from Sassy Bee Fibers, and it is the perfect rainbow colorways. And that was going to be my next spinning project. However, with the release of Stranger Things 2, I actually have a braid from Leading Men Fiber Arts called the Upside Down. That's going to be my next spinning project, and I'm going to start it this week. We've been binge watching Stranger Things 2. Didn't get as much time to actually watch all 9 episodes this weekend because of football, and we were busy with family and all that good stuff. So, therefore, we're probably going to finish it tonight or tomorrow because football's on again tonight. We're a football household, man. So anyway, I plan to start spinning that this week, which I'm really excited about, as soon as I finish my Desert Vista dye work socks, which is up next. Yay! So I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I can't wait to see what it looks like plied. I finished it, I think, 2 days ago. Maybe it was Thursday or Friday. It was Thursday. I finished it Thursday, so I'm going to give it till at least Thursday, if not next weekend, before I apply it. So I might have that on the next podcast to show you. Alright, moving on to whips. So I almost had 2 hose. So last night, I finished working some squares on my Cozy Memory. Oh, can't move on to that yet. I have, before I get into this whip, I want to show you my Cozy Memories blanket. So I don't have it up here to show in person, but I'm going to do the before and after photos to show you my progress. So I have put another 20 or 30 squares on the blanket since the last time you've seen it, and it's almost blocked off. What I realized, if you recall, or if you're new, I'll explain it again. So when I first started the Cozy Memories blanket at the beginning of this year, my goal was to knit 1 square a day from now to the end of the year, so that at the end of the year I would have 365 squares. That was fine and great until summer came and I didn't want to work on a blanket, and I took like 4 months off, and then I wanted to work on it again, and I felt bad because I wasn't anywhere near my goal. So I had decided that I was going to knit 3 squares a day until I got caught up to whatever today's date is, so that I would still have 365 squares on my blanket by the end of the year. We are at day 302 in the year as of today. And I have, well, when I started, we were at like day 260 something, 270 something maybe. And I had, I was, essentially when I started, I was 130 days behind where I was supposed to be. So that meant that in order for me to get caught up to that current day, I had to knit 131 squares extra on top of still knitting a square a day from then to the end of the year. So I am now at 51 squares behind. So not only have I kept up with adding the 1 per day, but I've also done about 80 additional squares. The problem is that the right side of my blanket, like if you're looking at the blanket, the right side of my blanket is all yarns that I haven't finished a project with, a fingering weight project. The left side are all minis that I have either purchased in swapless swaps or that have been gifted to me, or I've swapped with somebody. My left side is almost caught. I'm 3 squares away from being caught up with my right side. I have not been knitting any fingering weight projects. I have 2 shawls that are on the go that are fingering weight, and a pair of socks, which I'm about to show you. So once I finish the pair of socks, I officially will have completed another, and the problem is if I haven't finished a row on the right side, I can't start a row on the left side because of the way you pick up stitches to knit your squares across. So when I finish the pair of socks I'm about to show you, I will have one square to add to the right side, which will block off another row, which means I'll have another 10 squares I can add over here. But until that happens, I only have 3 more squares I can add. So my 3 squares a day thing and trying to get to 365 squares isn't going to happen unless I knit more fingering weight projects. And I don't think it's going to happen. But that's fine, because at least I know that the reason why I'm not meeting 365 squares a day isn't because I'm not working on my blanket. It's because I haven't knit enough on actual projects. That's the drama surrounding the Cozy Memories blanket. And I say drama because I worked really hard to get caught up, and then I started to realize that it doesn't matter either way. I am not going to be caught up to 365 squares by the end of the year. So I feel like all that work I've done in the last several weeks to make sure that I did 3 squares a day and spent hours and hours on this blanket was for nothing, but I know that it wasn't, because at least I put a ton of work into it and I've got a lot of squares on there, and it's getting ready to be blocked off to where it can be actually usable while I'm still working on it. So that is the first whip. Levi, I'm podcasting. Stop texting me. So he's texting me. So Levi, I've been trying to encourage him to work on some of his whips, because he has 2-3 projects that are like this close to being done, which who am I to talk? I have a ton of whips. And he just messaged me and told me that he is actually knitting FOMO up, which FOMO is one of my new colorways I'm going to show you guys in a bit. So my last whip is my October Desert Vista Dye Work socks, and this is in the Little Shop of Zambati colorways. And this is actually, normally I show you her Zen base because that's her sparkle base. This one is actually not on sparkle. I don't know if I think this is one of the original colorways I purchased from her, and I was too afraid to try sparkle back then. So it was before I discovered the magic of sparkle. So this is on her Vizio base, which is 75% superwash merino wool, 25% nylon, 462 yards per 100 grams, and it's the Little Shop of Zambati colorway. So this is what it looks like, and I had forgotten how cool these socks look knit up. I love it so much. I love it. And I put in a orange heel. This is the Hot Tamale colorway from Knit Picks in the Stroll fingering base. And I contemplated doing this for the toes too, but I think I'm just going to leave it at the heel. I like this colorway, and with self-striping yarn, I typically only do heel contrasting because I like self-striping and I want to get the full effect of the self-striping yarn. So normally I don't do toes or cuffs, but yeah, I really love it. I'm really happy with it. I started this last night at about 8 p.m. While watching Stranger Things. So we had watched the first episode already. So episodes 2 through 6, so about 4 hours. This is how far I got, and I ate in between that, so about 3.5 hours spent on the sock. I have about 35 rows left before I start the toe decreases. So my goal is to finish this sock while editing. Hi, I'm back. Levi called and interrupted the podcasting, so I got a few rows in while I was talking to him. But anyway, so my goal is to finish this sock while editing the podcast today, and then cast on the new one during my Skype night with Allie and Levi. So I'm excited about that tonight. But anyway, so yeah. Lots of progress being made on Desert Vista Dye Works socks, which is good because I cast them on yesterday and they have to be photographed and in her thread by midnight on October 31st, which is tomorrow night. So wish me luck. I need to get these done ASAP. And those are being housed in my wonderful WTF Knitting prototype drawstring sock sack. So, I love this bag so much. I love all his bags. He's a fantastic maker. So, that is it for, okay, so we talked about the sweater, which was the FO, the spinning, which was the hoe, the blanket and the sock, which was the whip. And so let's get into dream knitting. Yay. I am on a huge sock kick. Like, I want to knit all the socks. And I put up a survey on Instagram to see if you guys normally knit toe up or cuff down. I'm normally a cuff down knitter. I've knit a few toe up socks and they've all been pattern socks. So I have rarely knit toe up. And I'm wondering if toe up would be faster for me because I'm already pretty fast at doing cuff down. If you saw, about 3.5 hours gets me down past the heel. So I knit about a pair of socks in 9 hours, maybe 10 hours, somewhere between 8 and 10 hours. So I'm wondering if toe up would cut down that time at all. So I have picked out a few skeins of yarn to knit some socks with. And the reason why I did that is because I noticed this week when I was going into the office, I did not have any socks ready to go, to just pick up and go. Everything that I have on the needles is either, I have a ton of old whips, which I'm not even going to think about those until I get some other stuff done. But all I had were sweaters and shawls. So I really want to have 4 or 5 pairs of socks ready, like vanilla socks ready to go, so that I can grab a bag and take it with me. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cast on about 4 or 5 pairs of socks, get a little bit up the foot, and then see where they go from there. So the first skein of yarn that I picked, I have a ton of Nomadic Yarns colorway, so I knew that I wanted to use some of her yarn. It's the Ginny Weasley colorway on Spark Sock by Nomadic Yarns. And this is one of her newer Harry Potter colorways, and I love this, and I can't wait to see how this knits up. So that's going to be one, and that is in my Master Gave Dobby a Sock bag from QBS Not For Profit. And then I have a skein of Cozy Knitter yarn that I will show in acquisitions that I want to cast on for Christmas socks. So after I show you that, it's going straight in this project bag to be knit up. And this is my honeybee project bag from Mitchell's Creations. So Tara, that she had embroidered for me, and she had put one more up in her shop. I haven't looked to see if it's still up there or not, but if you're interested in potentially having one of these bags, make sure that you go check out her shop and see if it's still there, or message her. I don't know if she'll be able to take custom orders for this or not, but you can always ask. So yeah, I love this bag so much. It's a perfect sock size. So my new Christmas socks are going to go in this bag. And then I have 2 pairs of socks that I'm going to cast on that are in a few of my new colorways. So this is going to lead into shop talk. Look at that sparkle. Okay, so when I dyed these up, I knew, this was the first dye session that I've had where I have been 5,000,000% in love with every part of the colorway. Love it so much. I'm not a green person, but oh my, okay, so first of all, this is called FOMO, and it is Rhinebeck inspired, and it's got blues and reds and greens and some browns in there. And this is not what I typically go for, but my God, this is gorgeous skein of yarn. I will say that I have a few, and look at the the dark blues and the light blues. So this is the sky, this is the lake, or this is the sky, this is the lake. Trees and foliage, and I just love it so much. It turned out perfectly. I will say that the way I dye this yarn completely depends on it's a different style for me. I've never done this before. And look at those oranges. I love it so much. But the problem is that the dye does what it wants to do. So I literally drop it in and it goes where it wants to go. So I have a few orders that I had dyed to orders, and I dyed them up this weekend, and they look more blue than green. So like if you took these blues and reversed them with the green, that's the way it looks. So, and I use the exact same amount of dye concentration. I take pictures when I dye up a new colorway. I take a picture so I can see where the dye placement is, so that I put it in the same spot every time to try to get the same, as close to the original as possible. But with the way I dye this is I don't drain the water before I dye it. So what happens is the dye spreads throughout the entire skein. And so it really is random. So it will have these colors in it. It will always have the same colors. But depending on the heat, how the heat causes the dye to move within the skein, that's going to determine whether you have a more blue skein or a more green skein. So the ones I dyed up this weekend were definitely more blue. I am more than happy to try, like if you prefer the green, I am more than happy to put more green in that batch. And if you prefer the blue, I'm more than happy to put more blue. You just have to let me know in your order comments. Otherwise, I'm just going to send whatever turns out. That's the thing about indie dyed yarn, is no two skeins are ever the same. Even if you dye them in the same batch together, it's always gonna, it's so funny because dyeing yarn, like, it is the funnest thing in the world, but it's also the most frustrating thing in the world, because you can do the exact same thing every single time and get a different result. So, but as always, you guys, like, I am more than happy to try to get the results that you guys want. You can ask Krista. She ordered a colorway for me, and I kept sending her skein after skein because I wanted her to get what she wanted. And unfortunately, the way I dyed that skein, just like, it would come out different every single time. I would use the same dye concentration, I would put it in the same spot, and it would just turn out differently every time. But I am more than happy to give you the colors that you prefer. So if you want a bluer skein, make sure you put that in the comments. And if you want a greenish skein, put that in the comments. And I will find the most greenest or bluest skein that you prefer, and I will send it to you. But otherwise, this color is gorgeous, and I had to keep I had to keep one on sparkle for myself. So that is another cast on. And then I also have bomb.com, which is basically me in a skein. Like, this is my signature color. Like, these colors, I mean, this is this is 1,000% me. I love it so much. I am so, so happy with how this turned out. And the way I used 3 dyes on this. And the way they mix together, you have like grays and orange, like, I don't even know where that orange came from. I did not use orange in this skein. And you have purples, and oh, it's just so, so pretty, and I love how this turned out. And I have to have a pair of socks out of this, so of course I had to keep this one on sparkle for me. And since I'm talking about, those are only listed as dyed to order right now because I don't have any ready to ship, but I'm more than happy to dye them up for you. All of these might be ready to ship. I think all of these are ready to ship in the shop right now, so if you like these, make sure to go check it out. So, the first skein I want to show is called Witch's Brew, and my husband named this, and oh my god, I love my sparkle base so much. I really do. I love sparkle in general, but it is so pretty. So, this has purple and green and dark gray and light gray, and this was actually one of the first colorways I dyed in roving. and I spun it up already, so let me grab that for you so I can show you. So don't judge my spinning because this was one of the first skeins I spun. So, but this is how I dyed this 2.5 years ago. So this was actually hand painted roving, so that's why the colors are a little more vibrant. And also those lighter grays get mixed in with the brighter colors, and then kind of so you don't really see the lighter colors as much in this. But so, and again, don't judge my hand spinning. It's awful because this was one of the first ones I ever did. But so that's where the inspiration for this came from, because I had dyed this years ago. My husband had named it Witch's Brew. So I was like, it's Halloween, I'm gonna try to dye some yarn and a Halloween colorway, and that's how I came up with this green and gray, dark gray and light gray and purple. I love these colors together for Halloween. I might steal this too, to be honest. I could use some socks out of this, or maybe like a changing staircases shawl or something. Ooh, or I could pair it with like this light gray, and I could make a 2-color shawl. I don't know. We'll see. Go buy it in the shop before I decide to keep it. The next colorway I have is called Forever Friends. And this colorway I've been wanting to do this colorway for a really long time. I have this teal blue and this dark blue and this pink color, and I've wanted to mix them for a while. And Levi had given me this idea of creating a giveaway colorway. So basically, anytime I have a giveaway, sending out a specific colorway of yarn for that giveaway. And I think this is it. I think it is. I mean, these colors are gorgeous together, and they play really well. And I need to dye this up on Sparkle, but I haven't done that yet. But I love this colorway. So this is called the Forever Friends colorway, and it's named that just because of all the friends I have made in this community. And I just thought it was a really fun, playful skein of yarn, and it would be perfect to serve for that purpose. So I have a few of these in the shop on Worker Bee and Queen Bee. And then I have 2 colorways that I dyed up last week that I love them both so much. They're kind of more fall colorways. So this one is called Beaches Please. And this was my attempt to recreate some of the minis that I had made. I had done a few test minis for the kits that I had made for Levi, and there were some that didn't come out at all, but they were still really cool looking. So I tried to replicate that. And so this one turned out a little bit lighter than what the test mini had, but I decided it's still a beautiful colorway, so I was going to keep it. And it reminds me of the dye style that I used for my Reading Rainbow collection. So you could actually substitute this for the darker pink that's in that collection. It would fit with that scheme. But anyway, it's just really pretty, light pink with some black, and I really love it. And then we have Campfire Realness, which Beaches Please and Campfire Realness was courtesy of, the colorway names was courtesy of Levi and Allie. They're really good at picking out colorway names, so I just let them name all my colorways. But this one I love so much, and to me, it looks more yellow in the camera. It's definitely more orange in real life, but it has these like the orange reminds me of the fire, and then the red embers, and then there's some gray tones in here that remind me of the ash. And I just really love how this one turned out as well. It's the perfect colorway for fall. So all of those I have ready to ship in my shop and as dyed to order. So if you don't see it on the base that you want, make sure to go check that out. And I've got a lot of questions on what my Etsy shop is, what the name of it is, and how to get to it. So my Etsy shop is linked in my Instagram profile, but if you go to your web browser and you type in honeybeenknitsco.etsy.com, it'll take you straight to my Etsy shop. So make sure that you are checking that out. A 15% off sale from now until the end of Halloween, which is tomorrow evening. So I'm going to try to get this video up as soon as possible. I did announce it on Instagram, but I know not everybody has Instagram. So I'm going to try to get this up and get it out to you guys so that you guys are aware of that going on. So I think that is it for, let's see, we did administrative, we did knitting, we did spinning, we did dream knitting, we did shop news. So that leads us to the favorite part, well, at least my favorite part, acquisitions. The first couple things I'm going to show you are purchased acquisitions, and the first one isn't really knitting related, but I wanted to show you. So I've been looking for a really nice pair of slippers, like house shoes that I can wear outside to take my dog out in the winter. And I went to Kohl's this weekend to help my husband find some shirts and stuff, and I found these, and I had to have them. Oh my gosh, they're so cute, and they were on sale too. I think they were like $20, which $20 for slippers is a lot. However, $20 for shoes that have rubber soles on them, it's nothing. So I could actually wear these out of the house, like out in public, not just out my back door. So, and honestly, they're slip resistant, and they have a thick rubber sole, so I could actually even wear them in the snow if I needed to. Not like 3 feet of snow, but you know, an inch of snow, I could wear these out. So, and they're really super warm, super duper warm, and they're super cute with my hand knit socks. So, yeah, so I bought those. So, on my last podcast, I had showed off Maxie, which is my dad's dog. My dad was in Florida and on vacation, and actually my dad's going to DC for work next weekend, so we're going to have Maxie again for a few days. So, if I podcast next weekend, you guys will get to see him again. But anyway, he went to Florida and he brought me back. He's like, what do you want? Because he always brings me back souvenirs. And I was like, Florida mug. So I got the Florida mug, courtesy of my dad. And I love the rocket ship. That's my favorite part of this mug, because a few years ago, my brother-in-law and my husband and I went to Kennedy Space Center, and it was amazing. It was one of I've been to Florida several times, and it was my top trip to Florida, besides Orlando when I was a kid. So, because we went to Disney, of course. But anyway, Kennedy Space Center, if you're looking for a good, fun family trip to Florida, highly recommend the Kennedy Space Center. It was so much fun, so much fun. So I mentioned that I've been watching Meg of Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits, and she's been enabling me like crazy. So this is kind of squished, so I'm gonna have to undo so I've seen this skein. Oh my god, it looks even prettier on oh my gosh. Okay, so I've been wanting this colorway of hers for quite a while now. When I first started podcasting, I purchased her Unicorn Frappuccino colorway, which I think I still have. I might have sold it. I don't remember. I liked it, but it was the problem is I buy the same colors over and over again. And I was like, okay, some of this pink has got to go. So I did put it up for sale. I don't remember. I think I put it up for sale. I think I did. I think I sold it. Might have to buy that from her again some point. That's horrible, isn't it? Anyway, so I've been eyeing this colorway forever, and I finally bit the bullet and purchased it. And I think Alicia from Knit for Brains knit a Changing Staircases shawl out of this. I might be wrong, or maybe it was Tristan from the Girls in the Earring Cafe. I don't remember. But anyway, so here's her card, and I got the Galaxy LMC colorway. And this is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% Selena, and 1,000,000% gorgeous. That's not even the prettiest side. Look at this. Look at those teals. Oh my gosh. I am so in love with this colorway. And it is super sparkly. So I'm going to have to find the perfect like galaxy themed project for this. I love it a lot. And I've been wanting it for quite a while. So I'm glad that I finally got that. And her prices are really reasonable. She's an art teacher, so of course she would have the prettiest colorways ever. But oh, this is so pretty. So anyway, I'm really happy with this. I'm really glad that I got it. And I'm going to have to find the perfect project for it. I can't imagine not. I don't know why it took me so long to buy this. It is so pretty. So there is that. So that was another purchase. And then she also enabled me to purchase, I don't see the card. These bags from Lila Styles on Etsy. And they're originally supposed to be makeup bags, and I got both of the ones that Meg had because, I mean, they're completely my style, so why not? But they are actually just little makeup bags. They're actually rather large makeup bags. They're not little at all. But they don't have a gusset, so they're like pouches, but they're perfect for sock projects. I actually have thought about making something similar to this for my shop. Not quite the same because I would do a few things differently, but I like the pouch style. I don't know though, because it's nice when you're knitting to have something that sits on a gusset. But, you know, this pop up into a gusset like this. I mean, it's not hard. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to get a new sewing machine because my sewing machine kind of crapped out on me. That's why I haven't been putting any bags in the shop recently. But I'm getting a new sewing machine for Christmas. So I foresee new bags in the shop after Christmas. But anyway, so this is Tim Burton inspired. And I told Jason, I was like, I love how many versions of Johnny Depp are in this bag. And he's like, well, because Johnny Depp is in every single one of Tim Burton's movies, which is totally true. The only thing I'm kind of sad about is that the guy from Edward Scissorhands gets cut off in the top. And that was one of my favorite movies as a kid. But I love Alice in Wonderland and Willy Wonka and, of course, Beetlejuice and then The Nightmare Before Christmas. So I love Tim Burton so much. I think everybody does. He's like, especially our generation, it's like a cult classic. So actually, my, what socks? I didn't make Halloween socks this year. I think I'm going to put my FOMO in this one. We're going to use that for FOMO. And actually, while I'm sitting here, we'll just go ahead and put the needles in too. That way it is ready to be casted on. So then I also bought the Marauders map. I've seen this fabric before. I think QBS Not-for-Profit had one bag in this fabric and I wanted it so bad. So when I saw this, I was like, I've got to have it. And then they've got the Double Doors Army fabric on the inside. So my bomb.com socks are going to go in there. Oops. Yeah, my battery's getting low, so I need to hurry up. But, sock needles. Yep. Ready to cast on. So, I'm going to show... Oh, I did order this from Ashley of Nomadic Yarns. I showed it on Instagram. It's called Mischief Managed. It's one of her new Harry Potter colorways, and it's Spark Sock, and I absolutely love it. And I was going to cast it on right away, and I was like, no, I still want to cast on my Ginny socks, and my Hermione socks, and my Dobby socks, and my Amortentia socks. So, no, it'll go into the pile, and to be casted on eventually. In fact, I'll add that now. Oh, no, I gotta add it to my stash first. I always do that. I always try to put it up there before I even take pictures of it. Then I also purchased some yarn from Haverland, which is another self-striping company I've never tried. And again, I was enabled by Meg from Babble Girl Studios because she had knit Sanderson Sister socks on our honeymoon, and I loved how they turned out. So I got the Sanderson Sisters colorway, and I'm a huge fan of Hocus Pocus, so of course I had to get this colorway. And then I was in there, and I don't remember this colorway name, but I think it's called like Nuclear something, or I don't know. It's a charity listing. I love how her yarn comes packaged up. Oh, it's called Class of Newcomb High. So I had to get that one too. And it was a charity listing, so if you purchase that yarn, some of the proceeds go to charity. So I love the way she packaged them up. I think it's brilliant, and so I'm just going to leave mine packaged that way. But that is Haverland yarn, and I love how vibrant her colors are, so I'm excited to knit those up. And you know what's funny too is, like, you can definitely tell that she winds hers tighter than Ashley of Nomadic Yarns, because Ashley's like big and squishy. And by the way, this is Mad Eye Moody colorway, and look at that blue. Oh my god. But Ashley's yarns are like twice the size of this, so I know these are like wound pretty tight, but I think that's funny. Anyway, so I purchased those. And then I also went a little bit crazy in Cozy Knitters shop again. What's new, right? So first of all, I've talked about her club before, and I'm conflicted because I said I've liked the last 2 months, but I haven't been in love with them. And I said I'm gonna give it one more month, and if I don't like it, I'm gonna cancel. Guys, I don't want to say hate. Hate is such a strong word. I don't like these colorways. I feel like she's going in a completely different direction, and I don't really like it. Sorry about the break. I really need to try to get this done before my phone dies. But anyway, so I was saying that I have not been happy with the last 2 months of colorways, and this one is October's colorway. And I was expecting something like Halloweeny and fun, like her Frankenfeet colorway. And I got something, I mean, it's fall, but it's not, it's like, I'll just show it. So if you haven't received your October Yarn of the Month Club from Cozy Knitter, look away. But this is it. It's called Harvest. And it reminds me of something straight out of the 70s. I know they're fall colorways. I know that the intention, I feel like this should be named 70s kitchen or 70s bathroom or 70s or Tupperware or something, because that's what this reminds me of. I'm not a fan. The good thing about it is that they are male colorways. I feel like males are, they're gender neutral, and I feel like a male would appreciate these colors in socks, I think. But so it's the first game that I've gotten that I could make a pair of socks for a male out of. But I don't like this sage green colorway, and I don't like this goldish brown colorway. And quite frankly, I'm not a fan of natural stripes and self-striping yarn. So nothing about this colorway speaks to me. And it's aggravating me because I know that she's a fantastic dyer, and I know that she's very, very talented with colorways, and I know the minute that I cancel this club, she is going to come out with the most Melissa colorway there is. So we said 3 strikes and you're out. We're going to say that this is definitely a strike. We're going to say that 2 months ago was a ball. You know, like how they call balls and strikes. You get 4 balls or 3 strikes. We're going to call the first one a ball because I didn't hate it. I liked it. It just wasn't what I was expecting. So we're gonna give her another shot. That's just my way of justifying not canceling it. I don't know. What do you guys think? I have had offers to trade for the other ones, and if I do decide to trade or sell those colorways, I will just go down the list and see if that person's still interested. I've started keeping track of who offered what. But as of right now, I'm not making any decisions on these because I might end up loving it later. So I don't know. We'll see what November brings, and I'll let you guys know whether it's getting canceled or not. The thing about it is she has so many wonderful colorways, and I feel like if I canceled her yarn club, I could still like order a skein a month from her, just pick one of her other colorways instead of getting something I don't like. She does release these to everybody at the end of the 6-month period. So if I do miss one I like, I know I can get it 6 months later. It's just whether or not I would want to wait. I don't know. We'll see. So she also had some yarns in her shop. And I ordered these at the beginning of the month. What she does is, if you're a club member, she holds, if you order yarn from her, she holds the yarn that's in stock that you ordered until your club is ready to ship, and then she ships them all at once. So I had placed several orders with her throughout the month, and then she shipped it all at once. That's why it looks like I ordered 6 skeins at a time, but I didn't. I had, some of my orders were placed in September, so, which were these. So this is what I ordered. So I ordered her Frankenfeet colorway, which I adore. She has another Halloween colorway. She has one, I think, that's called Haunted or something like that, and I like it. But she had another colorway that she didn't dye this year, and I asked her if she was going to dye it, and she never responded because I really like it. But anyway, so I got Frankenfeet, which I love. And then I got, which it's too late to cast those on now, but whatever. I got It's My Birthday, which is her birthday colorway, which of course I love because they're Easter colors, and Melissa colors, and yellow and pink and purple and blue and green, and love it. So I got that. And then I also ordered from her Christmas update. Levi and I both ordered from her. I think Levi ordered 2 skeins of yarn and I ordered 3. Which one of them I could have done without, but I liked it. So first I got You've Been Elfed, which is just a red and white striping, which I like. She has this, and I think it's like her 4th of July colorway. So it's the exact same colorway. She just gives you a different mini based on whether you get it for 4th of July or if you get it for Christmas. So I liked the Christmas version, and I like the greenish colorway that came with that. So that's why I got that. And then I also finally got Gingerbread House. I've been wanting this forever, and it's on her gold Stellina base, and it is so pretty, and I can't wait to knit these up and show you guys how those knit up, because they do look super cool. I'm going to hold off on knitting these up because I haven't decided if I'm going to knit these for me or for a friend for Christmas. So I don't know that they'll get knit up this year. But I've been wanting this colorway for a long time. So this is the colorway that I love from her Christmas colorway. This is called Joyful, and this is her Silver Stellina. And so this is what I am knitting for my Christmas socks. And that is what is going into my Mitchell's Creations bag, which already has needles in it. So just to cycle back real quick, I've got my Jenny Weasley, FOMO, Bomb.com, and Cozy Knitter. So those are the 4 socks that I plan on casting on toe up this week. Packages. So some of these are swaps, some of these people have just sent me. So the first one is, Allie and I did a swap And she actually sent Levi's to me as well, and I need to get that to Levi so that he can show you guys. But I sent her a bag and some yarn a couple months back, and she sent me this wonderful package. So first of all, it smells fantastic because she added a bunch of tea in there. And I don't know if you can tell, but that's Australian Afternoon. Brisk and full-bodied, full strength, Twinnings of London. It smells so good. And then there's French Earl Grey, and then there's something hiding in there. I can't see. So there's that. Oh, I have another acquisition to show you guys. I'll show you in a minute. So she sent me the teas. She sent me this skein of smudge yarn, which she talks about all the time. And it is so soft, and I love it. And this one is called Bubbleberry Pie. It's 80/20 superwash merino nylon, 407 yards per 100 grams, and this is a 52 gram skein. So I haven't decided what I'm going to make with it yet. I really want to have enough to put a mini in my blanket, but that takes 3 grams, and this is only 52 grams, so I don't know if 50 grams would be enough for a pair of socks, or maybe I'll have to use this as like a some sort of like scrappy shawl or something. I'm not sure yet, but it's a really pretty colorway, and I really like it. And I'm glad I finally got to squish some beautiful yarn. And then she made me the prettiest bag. So first of all, look at those cute honeybees. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. And then up here, she has embroidered some cute little honeybees up here. And her bags are amazing. This is an amazing bag. It really is. I really like the that she did. That's getting caught. Sorry, I'm trying to open it. I really like that she did the denim fabric on both the bottom and the top to kind of frame the main fabric. And then it's got these cute little arrows inside. Let's see if I can get it opened up. Probably gonna put my Desert Vista Dye Works socks for November in here. But it's super cute. Thank you so much, Allie. That is such a sweet gift, and I was so excited to finally receive something from Australia. And I'm excited to do our knit night tonight. Yay! So thank you. I love this so much. I received a lovely package from Wendy in Indiana, a different Wendy than what I've mentioned before. But she sent me this lovely note, and inside was a sticker that said "Knit What You Love," which is awesome because I know this is from Simply Sock Yarn Company. I actually have a mug that has a saying on it from Simply Sock Yarn Company. And Wendy, we're totally going to meet up next time I go to Indiana for the Simply. I'll probably go next year. I would like to go make that a yearly trip where I go every year for their anniversary sale. Not sale, but party, whatever you want to call it. I did some damage this year, that's for sure. I'll do some damage again next year, I'm sure. But anyway, so she sent me the Indianapolis mug. We did a little swap, and I love it. I love it. And I love that it matches the Kentucky mug, because the Kentucky one is brown as well. So I got the Indianapolis one. Set that off to the side to take downstairs and put with my others. And she sent me these stitch markers, and I think Wendy, can you let me know in the comments below if you have a shop, because I think these are beautiful and they look like they might be handmade, and I would love to let people know if you have a shop where you sell these. But she sent me these gorgeous stitch markers. So she sent me like these beaded ones, which are super pretty. I don't know if you can. And then that dangly one right here, oh my gosh, it is so pretty. I wish the camera would focus. That's not going to focus, is it? But these are so pretty. I really love these. So I need to know if you make these, and if you do make these, do you sell them? Because I might need some more. So she sent me the stitch markers, and she also sent me this needle cozy, which I'm pretty sure she might have made this as well. And I love this fabric. Like, I would love a whole bag in this fabric. I love that so much. Oh, pink polka dots. So I don't use these very often. I have had them in the past, but I used to use them for DPNs, but I think this one is specifically for your circulars because it's got the 2 snaps over here. So I'm going to try that out and see if I can't figure out how that goes. And she sent me 3 minis. She sent me, oh my gosh. So first she sent me Post Yarn Cosmo socks. It's 70% merino, 20% cashmere, 20% cashmere, 10% nylon. And she said she made socks out of this yarn. It's 10 grams, and it is called Orion Nebula. And oh my gosh, is it pretty. And of course it's sparkle. And the fact that it's space themed is super cool too. I know it's hard to tell in the baggie, but I don't want to lose the tag for it, so I'm not going to take it out. Then she sent me some Leading Men Fiber Arts. This is on their Showstopper fingering, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And this is in the Kaleidoscope colorway, and it's also 10 grams. And she says she used this in her Find Your Fade. Super cool. I really like that. I love Lady Men Fiber Arts. And then this one I'm super excited about because I have heard so much about this yarn company and never tried any of their yarn. So this is called Primrose Yarn Company. It's Helix 2-ply fingering, 100% superwash merino. The color is called Angry Ocean, 10 grams. And this was also used in her Find Your Fade shawl. And it is gorgeous. I know it's so hard to tell with the plastic and everything, but I don't want to lose them if I take them out. So she actually sent me 10 grams of each. And I contemplated not putting these in my blanket because I could do a scrappy, like a small scrappy project with them. But I'm going to put them in my blanket, and I'll have some left over I could use maybe for some heels or something. But really pretty. And the fact that she put these 2 colorways together, like that, I need to go look at your fade, because those colorways complement each other really well. So I received that from Wendy, so thank you very much, Wendy. And I'm excited to meet up with you next year when I go to Simply Sock Yarn. So then I received this package from, Chrissy. Chrissy, I think, is Broomsticks to Go on Instagram. She sent me this wonderful Halloween paper notes, and she explained everything in the package. And this is such a thoughtful package. Okay, so first of all, look at this mug, guys. You guys know I'm a huge New Orleans fan, and Chrissy is from New Orleans. Oh my gosh, look at the color. I love it so much. Oh my gosh, the saxophone and the crawfish and the Mardi Gras mask and the French Quarter, and I just love this so much. I really love this mug. So I'm so excited to finally have the New Orleans one, and she sent me the most like Mardi Gras package that anybody could get. So first of all, I open up the package, and you know, like the Easter the stuff that you put in Easter baskets. So she had like purple crepe paper all in the basket, and then she had these beads. Oh my gosh, aren't these so? I'm gonna untangle these and hang them up in here. But just a little piece of New Orleans. And then I'm a huge Saints fan. She sent me a iPad case, which is actually going to be super handy. And it's got the Saints logo on it, and I love the Saints. So that is definitely super cool. You guys, so Starbucks doesn't have a Louisiana mug. So she sent me this gigantic, like, I don't know if you guys can tell, but this mug is literally the size of my head. So This mug right here is huge because I do a cup of coffee in here with my creamer. The coffee only comes up to about his eyeballs. My coffee's super cold now. So this is a large mug. Like, I don't even know how to explain to you the size of this mug. Here's a skein of yarn. Like, entire skein of yarn squished goes in the mug. Like, it's ridiculous how huge this mug is. And I love it so much, so thank you very much. I don't know if I could ever drink this much coffee in one sitting, but I sure as hell am going to try. So thank you so much, Chrissy. Super thoughtful gift. And then she also sent me some extra little goodies. So she sent me some caramel M&Ms. If you haven't tried those yet, you should, in this little trick-or-treat box. And she wrote in her letter, she's like, I sent you some New Orleans, I sent you some yarn, I sent you some Halloween, I sent you some Louisiana, so I really appreciate it. And she sent me some tea. And this smells so good. It smells like straight up like cinnamon. I love it. And she said it's black tea, hot cinnamon sunset, orange, and sweet clovers. And it's from Harney and Sons. Oh, it smells so good. What was that? Oh, my bobbin fell. So, there's that. I love that cute little trick-or-treat bag. And she also sent me this yarn. This is another yarn company I really wanted to try that I haven't been able to try. It's Woolen Boon. And this is Woolen Boon Classic 100% Superwash. And the colorway is called Mardi Gras. So how fun is that? So she said that she doesn't have a scale. And she mentioned that she didn't know if this was enough to do anything with. Oh, this is like more than enough to put in my Cozy Memories blanket. And then if I mix this with the 3 that Wendy sent, I can do another little scrappy project. So thank you so much. So the last package I received was from my friend Jessica, who is currently living in Germany with her husband, who's stationed there. And she sent me a lovely package from Germany. So she sent me a mug, and I want to share with you some of the history behind it because she did tell me what everything is on the mug. So first of all, she sent me a mug from Berlin. So this is my first international mug. And I'm sorry if I feel like I'm rushing a little bit, but I don't want my phone to die. But this is from Berlin. And so she told me what everything means. So the bear is a symbol of Berlin. When the city created its new coat of arms in 1280, there were 2 bears on it, and now whenever you walk around the city, there are bear statues everywhere. Reichstag, which I don't know if I'm saying that right, this is where Hitler held meetings with his cabinet. The building has been renovated since then, so that the only remainder of that time is the glass dome. Today it houses the Bundestag, which is the equivalent to the U.S. House of Representatives. I do not know German, so this is going to be awful, but Fernsehturm. I'm going with that. The TV tower is the tallest building in all of Germany and the second tallest in the EU. The tower resides in the eastern side of Berlin and was built to show the West Berliners that communism has a hold on the people of East Berlin. My favorite part is the Berlin Wall. Only parts of the wall remain standing now. The most famous mural on the wall is of Leonid Brezhnev and Erich Honecker kissing. It is classified as the fraternal embrace. However, many people see it as support and acceptance for the LGBT community in Berlin. It's common to see couples reenacting the kiss in front of the mural and having their picture taken, which is super cool. And then Brandenburg Gate, my favorite part of Berlin. This is her favorite part of Berlin. She said, this is the city gate led from the city of Brandenburg to the city palace of the Prussian monarchy. It is one of the few buildings in the city that wasn't destroyed by World War II. The statue on top now houses the goddess Irene. She is the goddess of peace. The gate now serves as a reminder of Germany's past and how they are no longer the people they once were. I'm a huge history buff. So for her to explain all that, and like, this is crazy ridiculous how special this mug is. I was blown away by her package. So that, she sent me the mug. So I have added 4 Starbucks mugs to my collection this week, including a ginormous Louisiana mug. And she sent me, which I'm excited I can actually eat these now because I was waiting to show them on the podcast, these Kinder Happy Hippos. And she said that since I've been knitting all the hippo socks and I have the hippos over here, that I could use some hippo candy. And she's 100% right. Who doesn't need hippo candy? And I said I'm on the chai train right now. She sent me some vanilla chai tea from Germany. So that's exciting. And then she also sent me these, which I've never tried Regia before, but she said that they sell it in her grocery store, which is amazing. And that it's actually a really good price there. So she sent me Pop of Art color, and I love how that looks. And then Flower Power color. And I'm really excited to try these because I've never knit with Regia before. And it's actually a lot softer than I thought it would be. I knit with Opal, I knit with Wet Yorkshire Spinners because I've had some people message me and say that they found Regia to be pretty rough, which is fine. I think German yarns are meant to be like workhorse yarns. It gets really, really cold in Germany, so they need tough wool socks that will keep them warm and not wear through. So I absolutely understand the need for that. My dad, I knit him house socks where like they have cashmere and they're not workhorse yarns, but I also knit him these because he's a truck driver and he's outside and his feet are in boots and they get wet and they get, you know, they're cold. So workhorse yarns are perfect for that. So as much as they are hard to knit with, it's a necessity sometimes. And also I found that if you use the Tough Woolens hand balm, or maybe like Lolo did it hand balm, when you're working on these, it makes it a lot more enjoyable. So those are the swaps I received. I have one more acquisition that I forgot to show earlier, and I'd wanted to buy these for a while and I finally did it last month. So Sugar Tots. I've heard a lot about Sugar Tots, and she actually has a couple of project bags that I like, but I have too many as it is. I have more on the way. And I bought a few Progress Keepers from her. So I bought the tea bag. I bought the purple, I think this is the Gothic Narwhal. Super cute. And I bought Hedwig, which is Harry Potter. And I also bought, of course I had to get this one, so cute, the Bumblebee. How cute are these? So these are the 4 that I purchased. I know they're hard to see, they're rolling around. But they're super cute, super well made, and I'm excited to use them on my projects now that I've been like, I had to hide them away because if I wouldn't have, I would have like put them on all the projects right now. So I didn't want to use them before I showed you guys. So I will set that over here so I can add those to my projects. Actually, I'm going to set it with the stuff over here. So we made it through all the acquisitions. I know that some parts of this video felt rushed, but I had a lot to share and I wanted to make sure I fit it all in. If you have any questions over anything that I have talked about in this podcast, if you need a link to a shop, if you didn't understand something I said, just message me. I'll send you the link. I'll clarify things, whatever is easiest for you. If you want a giveaway, make sure you message me and let me know. I already kind of did my weekend review in the beginning. I've just been watching the normal podcast. The only one I've kind of added is Meg, but I had already talked about watching her previously. The podcasting schedule I know has been a little bit erratic. It's been about every 10 days, which isn't quite a podcast a week. I would like to get to a point where I'm podcasting once a week. However, I haven't had as much knitting time, so the point's kind of moot because I wouldn't have anything to show anyway. So anyway, that's about it. I really enjoyed spending some time with you guys, and I'm excited to finish my socks. By the time you guys see this, hopefully I'll be halfway through the second sock. My mailman is running, so I'm sure that means more acquisitions from the next podcast. All right, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys so much, and have a good week. Bye.